If you're a Yankees fan, brace yourself. Because what's going on in the Bronx right now is beyond frustrating. It's a full-blown meltdown. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, the Yankees front office found a way to stun the baseball world yet again. And no, not with a blockbuster trade or a miracle win. This time, it's about money. Dead money of $43 million. That's right. The New York Yankees are shelling out nearly $44 million STUNS in 2025 to players who won't even be wearing the pinstripes. Think about that for a second. That's enough cash to sign a superstar. That's an elite level investment in absolutely zero return. This isn't just a bad deal. It's a disaster that exposes some of the most glaring issues in the Yankees organization. And for a franchise that's supposed to represent excellence, legacy, and championship standards, this kind of mismanagement has fans boiling. So who's collecting these checks while providing nothing in return? Let's break it down. First, Marcus Stroman. Signed with high expectations to bring veteran presence and stability to the rotation, the 34-year-old right-hander didn't even make it through the season. A steep decline in performance, velocity that dropped like a rock, and outings that quickly turned into bullpen nightmares. That was the Stroman story. Instead of being a reliable arm, he became a liability. The Yankees cut ties mid-season, and now they're paying him millions to pitch somewhere else. Or not at all. And then there's DJ LeMahieu. Once upon a time, this guy was the definition of consistency. Batting title contender, silver slugger, a guy who delivered in the clutch and earned the love of the fan base. But since signing out multi-year extension, it's like a switch flipped. Injuries mounted and his production plummeted. He became a ghost of the player he once was. A 300 hitter turned into a bench question mark. And yet, his contract still lives on, draining payroll while the Yankees look elsewhere for infield solutions. And who could forget Aaron Hicks? Well, the Yankees tried to, but not his contract. Hicks had long overstayed his welcome in New York. Whether it was underwhelming performances, injuries, or just looking completely disengaged, the writing was on the wall for a while. When he was finally released, there was a collective sigh of relief from fans. But that relief came with a bill, one that the Yankees are still paying. Add it all up, and the Yankees are spending more on these three ex-contributors than some teams spend on their entire active rosters. To give it perspective, the combined luxury tax hit for Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber over in Philly is about $45 million for two guys who are actually producing at a high level and playing every day. Meanwhile, the Yankees are nearly matching that number in exchange for 0 innings, 0 at-bats, and 0 value. That's not just painful, that's inexcusable. And here's where it gets even worse. This isn't a one-off mistake. This is a symptom of a much larger problem. Because these decisions didn't come out of nowhere. They were made by the Yankees front office under the leadership of Brian Cashman, a man whose legacy is now being called into serious question. For all the history, all the rings, all the prestige, how can a team with this much money, this much visibility, and this much pressure to win continue to miss on moves this badly? This is where fans are demanding accountability, not just from the players who underperformed, but from the people who signed them, trusted them, and believed they were the answers. When you drop over on $43 million league on players who aren't even helping you compete, it doesn't just hurt your win column. It handicaps your future. That's money that could go towards shoring up the bullpen, investing in emerging talent, making aggressive trade deadline moves, or even extending core players. Instead, it's dead money sitting on the books, haunting every financial decision going forward. And let's not pretend the Yankees are some small market team where a mistake like this sinks the whole ship. They're not. But even for a franchise with deep pockets, this kind of waste is unsustainable. You start stacking these kinds of deals, and before you know it, you've boxed yourself into a corner. And when that corner is filled with nothing but bad contracts and regret, you're not building a contender, you're rebuilding a mistake. This also affects morale within the clubhouse, among the coaching staff, and especially across the fan base. Because what message does it send when the organization keeps doubling down on bad deals and failed experiments, only to shrug and move on like nothing happened? Yankee fans aren't stupid. They've been around too long. They've seen the glory days, the dynasties, the drama, and they know what a winning team is supposed to look like. And this is not it. You can feel it in the stands. You can hear it in the post-game interviews. You can read it all over social media. This isn't about one season gone wrong. This is about a pattern of investing in the wrong. Players holding on to hope too long and failing to make the hard calls when they matter most. That's how you end up with a payroll riddled with dead weight and a fan base that's more frustrated than ever. And it gets worse when you realize this is happening in a season where the Yankees are clinging to playoff hopes by a thread. Every dollar matters. Every roster spot counts. And yet here they are, burning through nearly $44 million on players who won't take the field. You want to know why the bullpen looks shaky? Why the lineup feels thin? Why the mid-season acquisitions didn't come in hot? Look no further than this. The money's gone, the resources are tied up, and the Yankees have no one to blame but themselves. That's the real issue here. It's not just about bad luck or aging stars or a few missteps. It's about the bigger picture. It's about an organization that seems more reactive than proactive, more loyal to past decisions than committed to course correction. The front office keeps asking for patience, but patience doesn't pay the bills. Patience doesn't fix a roster bleeding cash. Patience doesn't erase, $43 million in mistakes fans want to believe. They want to support the team through thick and thin, but you can't ask them to stay loyal while the front office continues to make decisions that are so blatantly flawed. At some point, you need to own the mistakes, make real changes, and show that winning still matters more than stubborn pride. Because if not, this isn't the end of the dead money era. It's just the beginning. And that brings us to the question that's buzzing across Yankee Nation right now. How did it get this bad? And more importantly, who's going to be held responsible? The calendar says August, but the mood in the Bronx feels like October heartbreak. Not because the team was knocked out of the playoffs, but because they might not even make it. And when you're spending this kind of money just to stay mediocre, the problems go way deeper than the scoreboard. They're in the boardroom, they're in the scouting, they're in the contracts, they're in the culture. If you thought the financial meltdown was the worst part of the Yankees' week, buckle up. Because what happened on the field in Miami might be even more alarming. For a team that prides itself on tradition, dominance, and a reputation of never backing down, this past weekend was a complete humiliation. For the first time in franchise history, the New York Yankees got swept by the Miami Marlins in a series. Not a split, not a fluke walk-off loss. A clean, painful sweep, and in the ugliest fashion imaginable. It all came to a crashing low point on Sunday with the Yankees falling 7-3. But honestly, the scoreboard didn't even begin to capture the embarrassment. The story started. On the mound, where 26-year-old Luis Gil was expected to be the silver lining, fans were holding out hope that his long-awaited return would spark something positive. After all, this was his first real meaningful start since the 2024 World Series. There was buzz. There was excitement. There was the idea that maybe, just maybe, this would be the bounce-back moment the Yankees needed. But instead of a comeback, what fans got was a collapse. Gil looked lost from the very first pitch. He couldn't locate the strike zone, his mechanics were out of sync, and every hitter in the Marlins lineup seemed to sense it. Walks started piling up, pitch count started ballooning, and when he finally tried to find the zone, the Marlins were ready to punish every mistake. That hanging slider to Troy Johnston, that's going to show up on blooper reels for the wrong reasons. Gil's command was off, his fastball lacked life, and the entire outing felt like a pressure cooker ready to explode. By the time he hit 77 pitches, Gil hadn't even made it through 4 full innings. His final stat line was 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, and just 3 strikeouts. It wasn't just a tough start, it was a meltdown. And when Aaron Boone walked out to pull him, you could feel the shift in the stadium. Not just in Miami, but across the Yankees fan base. That wasn't just the end of an outing. It felt like the symbolic unraveling of everything the Yankees were trying to hold together. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. The sports world is buzzing with rumors surrounding Anthony Volpe's potential departure from the New York Yankees, sending shockwaves through baseball circles and igniting widespread speculation about the future of one of the franchise's most promising young stars. Volpe, known for his dynamic play as a shortstop and his impressive ascent through the Yankees' minor league system, has been at the center of whispered conversations, hinting that he may be seeking opportunities beyond the Bronx. Insiders have begun to circulate theories that the rising talent is either contemplating a trade request or negotiating terms that could ultimately lead to a surprising exit from the team that drafted him. This prospect has stirred a mixture of disbelief and intrigue among fans and analysts alike, as Volpe's development has been seen as a cornerstone of the Yankees' rebuilding efforts. The timing of this possible departure coincides with a period of intense evaluation within the Yankees front office, where decisions about player contracts, roster adjustments, and strategic direction are reportedly in flux. With the franchise's high expectations and the pressure to maintain its competitive edge in the American League, Volpe's rumored exit adds a layer of complexity to the already intricate puzzle facing the organization. The narrative surrounding Anthony Volpe is evolving quickly, and the possibility that the Yankees could lose such a pivotal asset is fueling endless debate on sports networks, social media platforms, and baseball forums. As discussions escalate, questions arise about what might be driving Anthony Volpe's apparent discontent or desire to leave the Yankees. Some speculate that internal dynamics, such as disagreements over playing time, role definition, or contract negotiations, could be influencing his mindset. Others suggest that Volpe's ambitions to establish himself as a franchise cornerstone might be clashing with the Yankees' current roster composition or strategic plans, prompting him to explore alternative paths to maximize his career potential. There is also speculation about the influence of external agents or advisors who might be steering Volpe toward opportunities with other teams that could offer a clearer path to consistent starting roles, leadership status, or financial incentives. These rumors raise questions about the broader context of player empowerment in modern baseball, where young stars are increasingly willing to assert control over their destinies by requesting trades, holding out for better contracts, or leveraging their market value in unprecedented ways. If true, Volpe's rumored departure would exemplify this shifting landscape, signaling a new chapter not only for him, but for the Yankees organization as well. The possibility of such a move has already sparked debate among commentators about how the Yankees might respond, whether by attempting to retain Volpe through renewed negotiations or by preparing to seek valuable returns in a trade scenario. In addition to the internal team dynamics, external market conditions, and league-wide factors could be playing a significant role in the swirling rumors about Anthony Volpe's potential exit. The current state of Major League Baseball's trade market, characterized by fluctuating player values, strategic rebuilding by multiple franchises, and the looming effects of upcoming collective bargaining discussions, creates a backdrop that could incentivize a move involving Volpe. Analysts point to the increasing demand for young, talented middle infielders as a factor that might elevate Volpe's trade value, making him an attractive asset for teams looking to accelerate their competitive timelines. Simultaneously, the Yankees face pressure to balance a payroll that includes several high-profile veterans with the need to invest in emerging talent. If the front office perceives an opportunity to leverage Volpe's rising star status to acquire established players or top prospects, it could make a trade a logical, if controversial, strategy. Conversely, keeping Volpe and building around him could represent a long-term vision that conflicts with short-term ambitions. The market's unpredictability fuels the speculation that discussions behind closed doors are ongoing, with the Yankees evaluating all options amid swirling uncertainty. This dynamic market environment adds another dimension to the speculation, heightening anticipation about the next steps for Volpe and the franchise. Compounding the intrigue is the reaction from fans and media, which has amplified the speculation around Anthony Volpe's possible departure. Social media platforms have erupted with debates, rumors, and wild theories as supporters express both shock and curiosity about what such a move would mean for the Yankees' future. Media outlets have seized on every hint, leak, or cryptic statement, framing the situation as a developing drama that could reshape the team's trajectory. Veteran journalists and insider sources weigh in with conflicting reports, some suggesting the issue is merely a negotiation tactic, while others hint at deeper disagreements that could be harder to resolve. This atmosphere of uncertainty has also created a ripple effect among other players, with teammates and opponents watching closely to see how the situation unfolds. The narrative is being fueled by the natural human fascination with dramatic shifts in high-profile sports franchises, particularly when involving a young talent with star potential. The speculation has even inspired comparisons to past Yankees, departures that altered the team's identity and competitive outlook. Whether VOLPE's situation will culminate in a trade, a contract renewal, or an unexpected reconciliation remains unclear. But the buzz is undeniably reshaping conversations about the Yankees' plans and priorities in the near future. Looking ahead, the potential exit of Anthony VOLPE from the New York Yankees remains one of the most captivating storylines in Major League Baseball, prompting experts and fans alike to consider the far-reaching implications of such a move. If VOLPE does indeed leave the Yankees, questions about his next destination dominate speculation, with several franchises rumored to be monitoring his situation closely, eager to capitalize on the opportunity to acquire a promising shortstop with a blend of speed, power, and defensive skill. Meanwhile, the Yankees face critical decisions on how to navigate the aftermath, whether by accelerating the development of other prospects or by seeking immediate reinforcements through trades or free agency. The situation also raises broader questions about the evolving nature of player-team relationships in an era marked by increased player mobility and strategic maneuvering. As the baseball offseason approaches, the saga of Anthony VOLPE's future could become a defining chapter not only for the Yankees, but for the league's shifting balance of power. Fans and analysts will be watching every development closely, aware that this rumor, whether it materializes or dissipates, underscores the fragile and ever-changing nature of modern baseball rosters. The coming weeks promise to be a period of intense speculation and significant decisions as the Yankees and VOLPE's camp weigh the prospects of parting ways or forging a renewed commitment to each other's success. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.